What's up, crypto junkies? Welcome to a new news segment. We got a lot to cover. Let's dive right in. So let's start off with CoinMarketCap, 219 billion, and BTC dominance is 51%. We've seen some green over the last 24 to 48 hours. It has sparked a insurgence of positive FUD pieces of people, asking the question, hey, is there some life being breathed back into cryptocurrency markets? Does it have to do with Bakkt, BAKKT, launching December 12th? What's going on? Does it have to do with the expiration dates that are coming up for the futures contracts? What's going on? So let's talk some specific dates. We got, remember, November 14th, CBOE expiration date. November 30th is CME, Bitcoin future contract expiration date. There's usually a significant amount of price action around those dates. Two other dates that you need to know about is that Bakkt is launching on December 12th. So there's a lot of speculation going around already about, is that gonna pump up the price because everyone just needs an excuse to pump up the price, or what's gonna actually happen, right? We're around the end of the year. This is when we saw significant price action last year, and many years in the past. We're not getting it so far this year. People are starting to grasp at straws naturally. And then December 29th is the ETF deadline. This is where they once again decide, are we going to approve an ETF or delay it again and push it back to February of 2019. Now that you're caught up to date on that, let's headline hunt for just a second here. Last night was the midterm elections, so we've got some pro-crypto governors that got put into place in both the states of California and Colorado. That's Jared Polis, and Gavin Newsom are now both governors. Congratulations. eToro recently launched Good Dollar, which is a social project to tackle global wealth inequality. That seems to be a really popular topic. I haven't really deeply researched how well anyone's doing that, to be honest with you. There's 2.5 billion unbanked people. There's a lot of projects out there and nonprofits that are claiming to want to do something about it, but I wonder how much is actually getting done. Maybe I'll dive into that here and do an expose on it, right? An in-depth piece. Okay, Salesforce has filed a patent, helps detect spam messages. So it's a application of blockchain in detecting spam messages. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Blockchain, let's just state the obvious. Blockchain doesn't solve all the problems. Especially you see like a lot of people posting lately about that blockchain would help solve a lot of the problems with voting. Not really. There hasn't really been a viable solution presented yet, which is why nothing's gotten done there. Okay, the Finance Committee of the French National Assembly has accepted changes to its current tax bill that would tax crypto as capital income. Some pieces being pushed out recently with the separation between the word blockchain and DLT, distributed ledger technology, and really forcing people to get more specific on what they're talking about because they're two different things. Bitly, who's the URL shortener, apparently there was some issue in Andre Annapolis's book that the links somehow were broken or something, and everyone was blaming it on Bitly. They don't really know what happened, but they fixed it. The US CFTC chairman, Christopher Giancarlo, said that DLT, distributed ledger technology, would help regulators analyze data, real-world outcomes, and success in satisfying regulatory objectives. Let's get into these news pieces. This needs to be stated over and over and over again, and we should realistically be talking about this on a regular basis. The speed of crypto hacks is escalating quickly. Okay, so this month alone, there's been $71 million stolen. All right, and here's the actual breakdown of just how terrifying all of this is. Cryptocurrency is still not secure enough. And it's weird saying that, but it's just true. Let's not beat around the bush. In-depth article breaking it all down if you want to read it for yourself. But there's a shitload of money, billions of dollars, being stolen each year in cryptocurrency. Next, this is a lawyer that's always talking about cryptocurrency. I've featured him on the channel many, many times. I like his threaded approach that he takes on his Twitter posts, and I like his point of view on most of this stuff. So what he's talking about is this a big long thread. Okay, let's just get a glance at it here. 18 posts breaking down what's going on with Bakkt, BAKKT. Here's the deal. It might be exciting, it might not. It might do something, it might not. That's just the reality of it. And so I'll link link this obviously with everything else underneath the video for you to check it out. There's an argument and a story to be crafted and made that this will do nothing for Bitcoin's price, and it'll do everything for Bitcoin's price. It might just be the perfect excuse at the perfect time for that pre-holiday pump. What would that be, 12 days before Christmas? Christmas is on the 24th, right? I've been out of America for a long time, so I don't always remember. 12 days, you know, a pre-pump before it actually happens is usually what you would expect. So you, what is that? You buy the hype, sell the news. Bakkt's goal is to make digital assets easier to buy, store, and spend. Bakkt will start off by offering one-day physical settled Bitcoin futures contracts. This, I think, is actually a really big deal. There's a couple other projects working on this, but these guys are by far the biggest. That means if you buy futures contracts from Bakkt, you can get actual Bitcoin the next day. One of Bakkt's most exciting features, the company behind it, the Intercontinental Exchange, ICE, the second largest owner of financial exchanges in the world, including the New York Stock Exchange. ICE has also attracted big name partners such as Microsoft and Starbucks and BCG. These relationships, though, it's unclear what they're actually doing with them. And there's been some speculation and some wrong speculation, the reporting in the months past. Also noteworthy is the fact that Bakkt will custody and deliver real Bitcoin. This means institutional inflows would reduce supply and thus maybe increase price too. This is different from other regulated future markets like CME and CBOE, which only deal with cash settled futures. You know, overall, ICE entering the crypto space is a pretty big deal. Fidelity entering the crypto space is a big deal. This is when things are getting built. You know, that's what I think a lot of people, they forget or don't realize or they don't understand. I don't know. Or all the above, is that when the price is down, that's when people are working. That's when you should be developing. That's when you should be building. That's when you should be making stuff. You know, then you get to reap the rewards when everything is up and everybody's happy and the price is pumping. You know, you can read more into this if you want to, the whole chain of response here. I'll kind of scroll through this for you just a sec if you want to read through. Next piece of news is I brought you just the other day that the Winklevoss twins are suing Charlie Shrem over 5,000 Bitcoin, which is about what, 35 million? 32 million. Yeah. They basically said that he stole it from them. He has come back, his lawyers come back and said that they have unrefutable proof that he does not have it or never took it, never stole it. So this ought to be interesting. Here's a statement from him directly. After I was released from prison, I had a net worth of less than $100,000 and worked for approximately 6 months at a restaurant in Pennsylvania. Since working at the restaurant, I have worked a variety of jobs that have allowed me to accumulate funds and restore myself financially. It's pretty cool. Makes sense. You know, everyone's going to say, well, you know, how'd this happen? He got out of prison and then he worked a day job and now he's got $2 million properties and 2 Maseratis and he's got 2 boats and this and that. Opposing the prejudgment freezing of some of his assets, Shrem further claimed that Winklevoss Capital Fund, the entity named in the plaintiff's side of the lawsuit, fails to prove either that the overall suit would succeed or that Shrem actively sought to defraud the plaintiffs. That's interesting. So they moved to try and freeze his assets, some of his assets. Wow, that's dramatic. We'll see how this unfolds. Hey, I'm sure we'll be getting more news stories soon. Okay, Texas regulator issues cease and desist order to cloud mining company. This is AWS Mining Pty Ltd, XYZ QUV, WSTRV. Yeah, okay. AWS Mining Pty Ltd for the age-old switcheroony, which is selling unregistered securities, okay? This is a growing concern because also any affiliate could get in trouble for this. And this is all just coming out now. Obviously, if I would have known this back in 2017 or really thought that through when I even made mentions of BitConnect or USI Tech or any of the other things that I was involved in and just excited to talk about, I was quite new at the time too. I want to preface that. If you follow the channel and you look at what we do now, I'm much more careful about how we talk about things and much more, I guess, looking much more long-term than back then. Back then I was, I guess, just a wet behind the ears, money grabbing little shit. No, because I was still coming from a good place. And that's probably why we're still around and a lot of other channels aren't. But anyways, the point is that, hey, bounty programs kind of fall under this wishy-washy territory now. Affiliates fall under this wishy-washy territory of selling unregistered securities, unlicensed securities, whatever you want to call it, in the United States. And all it takes is one old little cease and desist, and you got to start defending yourself. You got to pony up with a lawyer. As an affiliate, a minimum of $5,000 for anybody that's worth the time to talk to, and put them on retainer and then start to have these conversations with whatever 3-letter agency is coming after you. I've seen it happen to several people now. At the end of the day, you know, this just ain't that worth it. And hindsight's 2020, you know? But anyways, so that's the latest one to bite the dust. Next up, Apple blackballs popular crypto podcast Off the Chain without warning. So Off the Chain is, I believe it was number 4 in the investing category in US iTunes store. Interesting. Discussing the ultimate argument for Bitcoin, exploded in number 4 in investing category before mysteriously being taken down by Apple. We had no warning. They took down our podcast, but they can't take down Bitcoin. Yeah. Rally together. It's interesting that they actually just pulled it down, but I think it's great that it obviously the channel, the growth, the topics that they're talking about, it was significant, because otherwise why would they do that? Why would that happen? Right? And we're used to seeing this with, left and right and political stuff on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and those types of conversations and topics, but we're also still seeing it with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin conversations. So I'm incredibly thankful and feel incredibly lucky that we're still up and running at our full capacity with everything that we talk about, because I think it's important that this dialogue continues, and freedom of speech is, what we're talking about here. So I think that this is something to keep your eye on. It just proves that we're still getting a large amount of pushback from the establishment in cryptocurrency. Here's another interesting piece. I got to cover this. We had the false study that was pushed out about a week ago. Crypto mining consumes more energy than mineral mining. They're continuing on this war cry of just how much Bitcoin it costs to mine Bitcoin in the United States versus other countries that compared to mining gold and silver. Now, the thing I will state is that the US has some of the highest costs for energy in comparison to other countries. So they're not doing this with China or other countries. They're doing it with the United States, and it fits the narrative for them perfectly, is because they want to push this whole, the climate change and climate control issues are big emotional triggers for people, and this fits into that narrative of further throwing things under the bus and talking about things. Now, my counter argument to this is, if these numbers are true, and that's okay, let's make this fair though, and let's look at the power consumption to make $1. That's never been talked about, and I don't get it, and I keep saying this, and I'm sure you guys are getting sick of hearing it, but it's not talked about at all. Like, why? Because it's obviously, they have no clue how to actually track that, or there's some big smoking gun. My assumption and my theory is that it's because the amount of energy and power used to make $1 is a lot, and they just don't want to show it. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Okay, I've been wrong in the past. This one is from scientists at the U.S. Department of Energy's Oak Ridge Institute for Science and Education. That is a long one. So what's the abbreviation of that? USDEORISE, whatever. They did a study to evaluate how much energy is consumed by mining cryptocurrencies in comparison to aluminum or aluminum, copper, gold, platinum, and other rare oxides. Why did I say oxides? I don't know. Here's the chart. Boom. Brazil, Tether's new banking partner, Deltec, suspected of accepting laundered funds. Well, if we were to start an investigation about money laundering in banks, there would not be a single centralized bank left. Western Union would not exist, MoneyGram would not exist, and everyone else would be shut down as well. This piece, while I think it's interesting with all the drama going around about the new Deltec partnership with US Dollar Tether, they've come out and actually verified the authenticity of the document that was going around that I showed you with that weird signature. Yes, it did happen. Yes, it's real. I could also probably assume that there are some laundered funds in every single bank in the world, especially a central bank or any big bank. So I don't know what we're really trying to prove on this one, outside of, once again, trying to pin the narrative of laundering money and cryptocurrency, which I thought we had given up on that one. I thought we were beyond that, but maybe not. And that's all I got for you guys today. As the day goes on, I'm sure we'll get more news pieces. This is usually how it rolls Monday through Friday, but that's what you got for now. If you liked the video or just want to show support to us, just click the like button. If you got some comments, if you got some thoughts, something on your mind, I would love to hear from you, and share that below in the comments section. If this is the first time you're coming to the channel and you want to get more, just click the subscribe button and hit the bell notification, and be on the lookout, because we'll be uploading more videos to the channel very soon, my friends.